Hello, this is Dallas, and this is Story Jockey Episode 2. This will actually be an intelligent story this time. This was written by Douglas Adams in the book So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. Well, I hope you enjoy it, and here we go. You know, sometimes people tell you stories that are supposed to be something that happened to their wife's cousin's best friend, but actually probably was made up somewhere along the line. Well, it's like one of those stories, except that it actually happened. I know it actually happened because the person that it actually happened to was me. So I bought a newspaper to do the crossword, and I went to the buffet to get a cup of coffee.
You do the crossword?
Yes.
Which one?
The Guardian, usually.
I think it tries to be too cute. I prefer the Times. Did you solve it?
What?
The crossword in the Guardian.
I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, said Arthur. I'm still trying to buy my coffee.
Alright then, buy the coffee.
I'm buying it. I am also, said Arthur, buying some biscuits.
What sort?
Rich tea.
Good choice.
I like them. Laden with new possessions, I go and sit at the table. And don't ask me what the table was like because this was some time ago. And I can't remember. It was probably round.
Alright.
So let me give you a layout. Me sitting at the table. On my left, the newspaper. On my right, the cup of coffee. In the middle of the table, the packet of biscuits.
I see it perfectly.
What you didn't see, said Arthur, because I hadn't mentioned it yet, is the guy sitting at the table already. He is sitting there opposite me.
What's he like?
Perfectly ordinary. Briefcase, business suit. He didn't look, said Arthur, as if he was about to do something weird.
Ah, I know the type. What did he do?
He did this. He leaned across the table, picked up the packet of biscuits, tore it open, and took one out, and...
What?
Ate it.
What?
He ate it. Fenchurch looked at him in astonishment.
What on earth did you do?
Well, in the circumstances, I did what any red-blooded Englishman would do. I was compelled, said Arthur, to ignore it.
What? Why?
Well, it's not the sort of thing we're trained for, is it? I searched my soul, and I discovered there was nothing anywhere in my upbringing, experience, or even primal instinct to tell me how to react to someone who is quite simply, calmly, sitting there in front of me, stolen one of my biscuits.
Well, you could.
Fenchurch thought about it.
I must say, I'm not sure what I would have done either. So what happened?
I stared furiously at the crossword, Arthur said. Couldn't do a single clue. Took a sip of coffee. It was too hot to drink, so there was nothing for it. I braced myself. I took a biscuit, trying very hard not to notice that the packet was already mysteriously open.
You're fighting back, taking a tough line.
After my fashion, yes. I ate the biscuit. I ate it very deliberately and visibly, so that he would have no doubt as to what it was and what I was doing. When I eat a biscuit, Arthur said, it stays eaten.
So what did he do?
He took another one, honestly, Arthur insists. This is exactly what happened. He took another biscuit, he ate it, clear as daylight. Certainly as we are sitting on the ground. Fenchurch stirred uncomfortably. And the problem was, Arthur said, that having not said anything the first time, it was somehow more difficult to breach the subject the second time around. What do you say? Excuse me, I can't help noticing, it didn't work. No, I ignored it with, if anything, even more vigor than previously.
My man.
Stared at the crossword again, still couldn't budge a bit of it. So, showing some of the spirit that Henry V did on St. Crispin's Day.
What?
I went into the breach again. I took, Arthur said, another biscuit, and for an instant, our eyes met.
Like this?
Yes, well, no, not quite like that, but they met, just for an instant, and we both looked away. But I am here to tell you, said Arthur, that there was a little electricity in the air. There was a little tension building up over the table at this time.
I can imagine.
We went through the packet like this. Him, me.
The whole packet?
Well, it was only 8 biscuits, but it seemed like a lifetime of biscuits we were getting through at this point. Gladiators could hardly have had a tougher time.
Gladiators would have had to do it in the sun,
said Fenchurch.
More physically grueling.
There was that. So, when the empty package was laying dead between us, the man at last got up, having done his worst and left. I heaved a sigh of relief, of course. As it happened, my train was announced a moment or two later, so I finished my coffee, stood up, picked up the newspaper, and underneath the newspaper,
Yes?
were my biscuits. Thank you very much for joining me for Story Jockey, Episode 2. Hope you really enjoyed that story. I think Douglas Adams was a brilliant author. I might read some more stories from him in the future. Actually, I'm thinking about reading in the future a Ray Bradbury story. There's actually one I thought was hilarious that was in the Martian Chronicles. I can't wait to read it. Well, until next time, in those great moments, place a bookmark.